In the winter of 1595, the Ottoman Empire was the most powerful empire on earth. Its armies stretched across 3 continents. Its navy ruled the Mediterranean. Its capital, Constantinople, was the center of power between East and West. But inside the imperial palace, behind the golden gates of Topkapi Palace, something terrible was about to happen. Something that would become one of the darkest nights in Ottoman history. On January 16, 1595, the reigning Sultan Murad III died after ruling the empire for more than 20 years. His death created a dangerous moment for the empire because in the Ottoman system there was no clear law of succession. When a sultan died, any of his sons could claim the throne. And if multiple princes fought for power, it could lead to civil war. The Ottoman rulers had learned this lesson the hard way. Nearly 2 centuries earlier, after the defeat of Sultan Bayezid I by Timur, the empire collapsed into a brutal civil war known as the Ottoman Interregnum. Brothers fought brothers, cities were destroyed, the empire nearly disappeared. From that moment on, Ottoman rulers feared only one thing more than death: a war between princes. To prevent such chaos, a brutal tradition was created. It was legalized during the reign of Sultan Mehmed II, known as Mehmed the Conqueror. His imperial law code contained a chilling rule. It stated that at whichever of my sons inherits the throne may lawfully execute his brothers for the sake of the order of the world. This became known as the law of fratricide, and now in 1595, that law would be carried out on a scale never seen before. Far from the capital, in the city of Manisa, a prince named Mehmed received the news that his father had died. He immediately began his journey to Constantinople. He knew what awaited him. When Mehmed arrived at Topkapi Palace, the officials, soldiers, and scholars gathered to greet him. He was proclaimed Sultan Mehmed III, the new ruler of the Ottoman Empire. But according to tradition, the moment he became sultan, another decision had to be made. Inside the palace lived his younger brothers, 19 of them. Some were teenagers, some were children, some were still babies. Each of them carried the blood of the Ottoman dynasty, and each of them represented a possible future rebellion. If even one prince escaped, powerful generals or governors might raise an army in his name. The empire could fall into civil war. And so that night, the order was given. The palace executioners, known as the Bostansha, were summoned. Ottoman tradition forbade spilling the blood of royal family members. Because of this, executions were carried out using a silk cord. One by one, the princes were taken from their rooms. Historians describe the scene as haunting. The corridors of Topkapi Palace were silent. Doors opened in the darkness. Small footsteps echoed in the halls. Some of the princes did not even understand what was happening. Others cried and begged for mercy. But the order of the Sultan could not be questioned. Throughout the night, the executions continued. By morning, 19 princes were dead. It was the largest fratricide in Ottoman history. 19 small coffins were prepared inside the palace. According to some accounts, several of them were so small they barely reached the length of a man's arm. The bodies were buried in the mausoleum of their father, Sultan Murad III. Outside the palace walls, the people of Constantinople whispered about what had happened. Even in an empire accustomed to harsh power struggles, the scale of the event shocked many. For Sultan Mehmed III, however, the decision was seen as a necessary act to protect the empire. But history would remember that night differently. The execution of 19 princes became a symbol of the brutality of the Ottoman succession system, and it deeply disturbed the next generation of rulers. Only a few years later, when Sultan Mehmed I ascended the throne, he chose a different path. Instead of killing his brothers, he imprisoned them inside the palace in a secluded section known as the cafes, the cage. Princes would live there under guard, isolated from politics, sometimes for decades. The age of mass fratricide slowly came to an end, but the memory of that night in 1595 never disappeared. To this day, historians still debate the question: was Sultan Mehmed III a cruel ruler who murdered innocent children, or was he a man trapped by a brutal system, forced to make an impossible choice to prevent civil war? Perhaps the truth lies somewhere in between. What is certain is that on that cold winter night inside Topkapi Palace, the Ottoman Empire chose stability over mercy. And 19 princes paid the ultimate price. History would never forget the night a sultan killed 19 brothers.